Om Namah Shivaya, Om Amiteshwaya Namah. Today I, Saudagiri of class 10, will say on the chapter The 100 Dresses. So here I have made a chart which gives us a brief explanation of the whole of the chapter of the 100 Dresses. Wanda Petronski usually sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room number 13. Wanda was a poor Polish girl and she used to come from Boggin side, and as her feet were caked with dry mud, so she used to sat in the last seat next to the last row where the rough boys sat who did not make good marks. In this, only the rough boys who never scored good marks and who used to make a lot of noise used to sit there. Wanda was very quiet girl and rarely said anything to anybody. Wanda Petronski was a very quiet, and she never said anything to anybody. She used to never talk to anyone and used to remain silent and used to stay lonely in her class. She had no friends and came to school alone and went home alone. Wanda Petronski, who lived in Oliver Street, came from Oliver Street alone to the school and went home alone when the school got over. So she had no friends and she used to talk with nobody. Peggy was the most popular girl in the class. Peggy was a girl who was the most popular girl in the class, who used to sit in the front rows where the good children sat who made good marks. She was a pretty girl who had curly hair and she had pretty clothes. She was the most popular girl in the class. This was the description of Peggy in the story. Wanda was a poor girl who always wore a faded blue dress which was never ironed properly. Wanda was a poor girl who used to wear a faded blue dress which was clean but was never ironed properly. This was because she was she used to wear this dress only, and so this was only the dress which she used to wear. She wore her name Wanda Petronski was different to pronounce and look funny to the children. Wanda Petronski's name was funny to the children of the whole class, as no other children had so hard name to say. All the children had easy names to say, such as Smith, Allen, but there was a boy named Willie Bounce whose name was funny to all the children, but all the children thought that it was not as funny as Wanda Petronski's name was. So Wanda Petronski's name was the most funny one in the whole class. Maddie was poor and wore old clothes given to her by Peggy. Maddie was also a poor girl, but she was not so poor as Wanda. Maddie wore someone's hand-me-down clothes, but she was also poor. She didn't like Peggy's questioning of Wanda about her 100 dresses, shoes and hats. Peggy always questioned Wanda that how many dresses she had and how many shoes she had, but Maddie felt bad about Wanda and she felt very bad when Peggy asked Wanda in a mocking voice that how many shoes and how many dresses Wanda had. This made Maddie very sad and she felt very bad for Wanda. She wished Peggy would not tease and mock Wanda in an insulted manner. So Maddie felt that Peggy should not insult Wanda and tease her by saying her that how many dresses she had and how many shoes she had. So Maddie felt that it was wrong to tease Wanda in such a way that Peggy did. Everyone was waiting for the winner of the drawing and coloring competition. Meanwhile, a drawing and coloring competition was being conducted by the class. It was for designing motorboats by the boys and for designing dresses by the girls. So the result date was going to be announced, and so every student was very eager to know the result. So they were very everyone was waiting for the result of the winner who was going to win the drawing and coloring competition. Everybody thought that Peggy would be the winner as she could draw the better than anyone in the class. Maddie and every girl in the classroom felt that Peggy would win the drawing and coloring competition, as Peggy was the Peggy drew most beautifully, and she had a very good drawing. So everyone felt that Peggy would win the drawing competition. So next day, when they entered the classroom, room number 13, they found drawings all over the room. On the result day, when Peggy and Maddie entered the room, they found drawings all over the walls of the room, and that Miss Mason had put all over the room. All kinds of drawings were put up by Miss Mason on the classroom. The Miss Mason declared that where only 2 or 3 sketches were sent by most of the girls. One girl sent 100 drawings and all different and beautiful. Miss Mason said that all the girls only drew 1 or 2 sketches, but there was only one girl who drew 100 dresses, 100 drawings, and according to the judges, any one of the drawing was enough to win the prize. So the 100 drawings were of Wanda Petronski's, and Wanda was announced as the winner of the drawing competition. On the other hand, of the boys, Jack Bagels had won the prize, who had drawn an outboard design for a motorboat. noted board. Unfortunately, Wanda was not present to hear the applause that was due to her. Wanda had won the drawing competition. But Wanda was not present on the day on which the results were declared. So the Miss Mason announced that Wanda was not there to receive her applause. The teacher makes the class fully attentive before reading out the letter written by Wanda's father. As Wanda was not present, so after a few days, Wanda's father wrote a letter to Miss Mason that Wanda and her brother would never come to school anymore as they were moving to a new city, and her father also informed that no more funny names in your city and no more funny business in the classroom, as Wanda was continuously being teased by all the classmates of her in the classroom. Informing them about the absence of Wanda and Jack to their school for good, the Petronski's family decides to settle in a big city so that their children do not suffer from funny pranks played by the classmates. The classmates always played funny pranks on Wanda, so Wanda's father informed in that letter that no more funny pranks would be played on Wanda, as Wanda had left the school. The whole class, along with the teacher, got shocked with the content of the letter sent by Mr. Petronski. By seeing this letter, the whole class got surprised, as it was not known to anyone that Wanda would leave the school for this reason. So it was surprising for everybody in the classroom. The entire class got tense and they felt bad about Wanda. Maddie could not concentrate on her studies. This made everybody feel bad, as they had teased Wanda about her name, and also that she was because she was poor. So she could not. When during the first period, which was a study period, Maddie started to study, but she could not concentrate on her studies, as she was continuously feeling about Wanda, that that she had left the school. This made Maddie not to get the attention in her studies. She felt that she is coward and never stopped Peggy from making fun of Wanda. Maddie felt that she should have stopped Peggy from teasing Wanda, as she was also with Peggy when Peggy used to tease Wanda. So she felt that she was a coward, as she hadn't stopped Peggy from teasing Wanda. So as because she was also her friend, and so she should have stopped Peggy from teasing Wanda. She wanted to meet Wanda. She made up her mind to go to her house. So Maddie decided that the only way to say Wanda that she had not meant to hurt her feelings was by going to Wanda and saying her that she and Peggy had not meant to hurt her feelings. When the school was over, Peggy and Maddie went to Boggin side. When the school was over, Peggy and Maddie went up to the Boggin side to search for Wanda Petronski in her house, and that she would say about Wanda Petronski, and that she would search Wanda Petronski and inform her that Maddie and Peggy had not meant to hurt Wanda's feelings. When both the girls found that they could not meet anyone, as they already left the place. When they reached Boggin side, they saw that it was an old white house which was covered with grass all around. This made them remember about Wanda's one old faded blue dress, which was clean, but it was never ironed properly. And so this made them remember Wanda. But as they knocked the door, they found nobody in the room. So they understood that Wanda had left the city. So they could not meet Wanda after going to Boggin side. Peggy tried to defend her behavior, but Maddie is not satisfied. Peggy was not satisfied with Maddie's behavior, and but Maddie felt very bad for Wanda as because of the behavior that was done to her. On Saturday, both Peggy and Maddie wrote a letter to Wanda telling her that she had won the contest. When they couldn't get Wanda in her house, they wrote a letter to Wanda on Saturday. It was a friendly letter to Wanda that they wanted to inform that she had won the contest and she was the winner. At first Peggy and Maddie had thought that they would write a letter that they would apologize to say all the things that they had said to Wanda. As they had mocked Wanda, but it ended up as writing a friendly letter. Days passed, but there was no answer from Wanda. As they wrote the letter, but Wanda didn't reply back anything. No reply came back to them. So they thought that Wanda had got very much angry, and so she was not replying back to them, as they felt that the way Peggy and the way they had teased Wanda had made Wanda very angry to them. So she didn't reply back to them. It was a Christmas time when Miss Mason received a letter from Wanda, who had written a letter that the girls could keep those 100 dresses because in her new house she had 100 new ones. So the Christmas approached and Miss Mason received a letter from Wanda. The letter said, Wanda informed Miss Mason that through the letter that the 100 dresses which she drew could be taken by all the girls of the class, and so that could be taken by all the girls as the new place where she had went. In that place she already had a new 100 dresses in her closet. So she informed to Miss Mason that she could take that the drawings could be taken by all the 100 drawings could be taken by the classmates. She gifted her special drawing to Peggy and Maddie. The drawings about the drawings which Wanda had drawn were gifted to Peggy and Maddie. Peggy was gifted with the jungle green with the red sash, and Maddie was gifted with the faded blue one which Wanda used to wear to come to school. She went to Peggy's house and saw the drawing too. Maddie went to Peggy's house and saw the drawing which Wanda had drawn. Which Wanda had drawn. So Maddie saw the drawing which Wanda had drawn. She made her up her mind to go to her house and tell that she had found that the face and the head of the drawing looked like their face and their head. Maddie said to Peggy that the drawing which she drew was alike like Peggy, and so she said to Peggy that Wanda had actually drawn Peggy on that drawing. This made them realize that Wanda was not angry with them, as she gifted them her drawings which she had drawn, and also she had replied back to them and also gifted them the dresses which she had drew in the contest. Peggy consoled herself by saying that Wanda really liked them, and then Maddie agreed and believed away and removed the tears that came every time she thought of Wanda Petronski. Peggy realized that Peggy realized her fault, and she also felt that, and also she also felt good for Wanda Petronski now, and this made Maddie's mood better, as she was feeling very sad at the first when Wanda had left the city, and as they had teased Wanda. This made Maddie's mood okay, and she was fine after that, and this removed her tears from her eyes that always came when she thought of Wanda Petronski, as Wanda had left the city. Thank you, Om Namaste.